let's look at what the opportunities are, especially as you know, the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, it's sort of, it's reforming a lot, and education will not be left out of that. And you've made the point already, where every Nigerian knows anyway, that foreign education, international education is highly expensive, and you've shared with us how this can actually bring down the cost of that. So, and I wanted to ask, have you engaged with, the experts in the administration, experts on education in the administration, as to the possibilities here, the potentialities here, and what can be done to actually assist what you and Mark Falvo have been talking to us about?
Yeah, thank you. There's enormous opportunity when it comes to education as an exportable service for Nigerian government to consider. We have been engaging with some APC chieftain in regards to this. In the person of Bolaji Raji, we've been working alongside. We know the presidency is passionate for the youth and for education. There's a lot of effort in transforming the educational system in Nigeria, especially the introduction of the Education Bank, which is going to be providing student loan and also supporting other educational initiatives in the higher education sector. And there's a big push for youth contribution in government, especially in the person of Sheyi Tinubu, who has been working tirelessly to ensure there's youth participation in this new government, and the contribution the youth brings to the digital economy. It's of massive impact. So what we are doing right now at government level, we are still in talks. Initial conversation is ongoing. Looking at the NUC guidelines on transnational education, I think it's high time Nigeria key into implementing transnational education. A lot of countries have benefited from education as a service. The World Trade Organization in 1995 declared education as an exportable service. So what that means, countries like the UK, for example, they're making about $39 billion annually from international education. Nigerians are going in large numbers to the UK, going in large numbers to Canada, to Australia. Recently, Australia made about $29 billion from international education. Not to talk of our neighbors, Ghana, for example, making $1.1 billion annually from international education. And Nigeria is one of the leaders in driving the numbers of students into Ghana. We are currently #1 largest source market in Africa. The population of over 220 million people, and 90,000 Nigerian youth are going overseas to study annually. And so there's a huge market. And we are #1 in Africa as a source market. So there's an opportunity here for the government to work with us to enhance the education system in Nigeria so that we can facilitate transnational education in Nigeria, making it easier for Nigerians to go abroad to study and affordable. And that is what we stand as an organization. An individual myself, I've been in the business of international education for the past 13 years, where we've sent over 1,000 Nigerian students to study, live, and work in Australia. We want a better solution to this. There's huge market for this, but the best way we can achieve a better solution will be transnational education model. As I've mentioned earlier on, the NUC have stated some guidelines for Nigerian universities and stakeholders in engaging in transnational education. But at the same time, there needs to be a government might, a government push in creating an enabling environment to push transnational education. And some of the initiatives of this present administration has actually points towards that direction, but we are hoping that we could have some further engagement to introduce transnational education into Nigeria. I'll give you a very good example on how transnational education can work in Nigeria. We can work on transforming about 6 of our universities into international universities in Nigeria. At the same time, we can introduce foreign universities coming to set up branch campuses or partnering with local universities to deliver joint programs. At the same time, we can also enhance private participation in setting up study centers in Nigeria that partners with foreign universities, making the process much easier for students to go abroad to study and reducing the costs. As I've mentioned earlier on, there's a huge pressure on our forex. International education is having on our forex. In the past 10 years, the CBN provided subsidized forex for international tuition fee payments at the rate of $29 billion in the past 10 years. This has had a drastic impact on the availability of forex for other economic activities. And in terms of personal and travel allowance for medical tourism, individual travel abroad, basic traveling allowance, the CBN has provided close to $59 billion in the past 10 years in subsidizing this. So a transnational education solution will further reduce the pressure on our forex by 30%. So if a student, for example, going to the UK, completes 1 year of that module in Nigeria, instead of going to the UK to do 3 years bachelor's, they do 1 year in Nigeria, they pay in local Nigerian currency. It makes it more cheaper and affordable for the government. So at the same time, the students also saves, their parents saves. It makes it more cheaper and affordable for the parents. So that's about 30% reduction in tuition fee because they'll be paying in local currency. And the current fee payment, you pay 1/10 of what you pay in the UK if you are studying in Nigeria. So there's a lot to discuss around this area, basically. So these are one of the areas we'll be looking into further.